Hi everyone, thank you for joining today's webinar on using RPR reports to expand your virtual business with RPR's Manager for Training and Programs, Katie Gleboff. Before we begin, I want to let you know that Allison James Estates and Homes is a nationwide brokerage which offers 100% commission, 100% support, and 0 franchise fees. Why split your commission if you don't need to? You earned it all, so shouldn't you keep it all? Our goal at Allison James is to always give back to our agents by providing education, training sessions, live webinars, live events, and full broker support with the most up-to-date tools and technology available. We are always looking for new tools and ways to be able to provide them to our agents at a lower or discounted price, so you can keep your hard-earned money. All of us here at Allison James hope you and your families are doing well during this time. We will continue to host webinars such as this to help you during these times and to bring knowledge and value that will help you stay connected to your clients and continue to grow your business. Today's webinar is sponsored by our preferred lender, Movement Mortgage. For more information about Allison James, please visit us at www.ajicareers.com. Let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, please submit your questions into the chat box on your Zoom control panel, and we will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. I will now pass it over to our speaker today, Katie Gleboff. Good morning, Katie.
Oh, good morning, and thank you. Let me go ahead and get my screen shared with you guys, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'll take this moment to remind all of you that if you have a question at any time during the presentation, just look to your Zoom control panel and you'll see that chat or the Q&A, and I'll be monitoring those throughout the presentation. And if I can't answer it, we'll again have time to answer those questions at the end. But let's go ahead and get started with using RPR reports to expand your virtual business. So while we all try to flatten the corona curve, we want you to stay ahead of the real estate curve. Let us help you continue to serve your clients and customers by making the most of RPR's tools and features. So today we're going to look at how to use RPR to expand your virtual business and hopefully share some ideas. So what we're going to do is just that background information of how to go in and make sure your profile is up to date. So when you are utilizing these reports, all of your contact information is embedded on these reports. And then I also want to share with you how to add custom pages. This allows you to customize the reports that you share from RPR. And then we're going to go through the reports and hopefully share some ideas on how to use all of these reports. RPR generates just under 3.5 million reports a year. We have 8 reports total. Some of these are combination reports. So if you want to be able to have something like a neighborhood report and a market activity report in one, you have options to use something like the property report instead of having to generate 2 or 3 different reports. Now, before we jump in, I also want to comment that RPR is available through your Apple and Android-based devices. You can download this through the Google Play Store. Keep in mind, RPR is a member benefit. So as long as you're a member of good standing, you do not have to pay any fees to access RPR. It's a dues-funded benefit, and you don't have to pay anything to access RPR Mobile. And hopefully at the end of the presentation, I'll have time just to share my mobile screen with you and share with you some other ways that you can use the RPR mobile device to share your reports as well. So hopefully we'll have time to do that. Let me just go ahead and jump over into our desktop. Oops, sorry guys. Let me just jump over into my desktop and we can, my whole desktop just kind of popped on me. Give me just a second. Sorry guys. Technical difficulties. All right, so let me just pull up. Here we go. Let me know that you guys can still see my screen. Here is our homepage for RPR. We have the Allison James logo on the upper left-hand side. So keep in mind that is the brand recognition that's going to be imported throughout RPR on the reports that you generate. So we can jump right into our reports to pull up a share a report. Sorry guys, I'm just having a brain freeze. All right, so what we're going to do, I want to come into my all properties search tab. Keep in mind, when you guys are using RPR and you're coming in to create a report, and maybe that report is a property flyer for a parcel that you're getting ready to list, or maybe it's an active listing and you're getting ready to do an open house. In your circumstance, you can pull up your actively listed properties very easily. You just go to the saved dropdown, and under that saved dropdown is a link here for your current listings. And that's going to bring up all of your inventory direct from the MLS. If you're helping another agent or it's an off-market property, I always like to just go into the all property search once I have an address, and then you can go ahead and type in the property address. So I'm just going to pull up a property that I've identified. And in this scenario, we're going to use our demo area. We're going to use our demo area of Carlsbad just because that's where your headquarters are located. So it makes it really easy for us. So this is an actively listed property that we have in RPR, and we want to be able to just really quickly go in and create a property flyer. Now, if I'm looking at this particular property, these are all of the MLS photos that get imported into RPR. And if you're limited, I know Allison James is all across the country, and the numbers for listing photos vary all across the US. So maybe your MLS allows you to have 25 photos, maybe your MLS allows you to have 50 photos, but you do have the ability to use any of the MLS photos that come imported into RPR. If this happens to be an unlisted property and you want to use your own property photo, you can go just below those images and you'll see a section for property notes, and you can come in here. You can upload your own photos into RPR. If I pull up a sample, you can import your own photos into RPR, and then you do have the ability to use this image as the report cover page, and that will override whatever the primary photo is, which is photo number 1 from the MLS. Or if there's no MLS photos, it would be the street view. And if it's a gated community and there's no street view, it would be that overhead view. Okay. So if we come in and we just want to jump in and create a report, maybe we want that property flyer, I'm going to go to my report page, and I'm going to jump down a couple of sections here to our property flyer. And then you'll see all of the images from the MLS. And then if we want to use our uploaded image, we can use that uploaded image as well. But before we actually create the flyer, I just want to direct your attention to the right-hand side of our page. Our property flyer in RPR is the only single page report that we have, and you can customize it. And this is a sample. So you have that aerial view of the property. You have a single photo view of the property here that gets incorporated. You get a summary of the public marketing remarks, and then you have your description and to the bottom, it's going to have your agent contact information. So anytime you're going in to create a report, this is either going to be the cover page of the report or a sample of the property flyer. Just below that, you have all of the elements that we have in your profile that you can include. So this can be your name, your photo, your cell phone, your work phone, your fax, your email, your brokerage name, brokerage address, office address. All of that information gets fed in from your profile information to the bottom here. So you can click this link that says view full profile, and it's going to bring you into your profile page where you can come in and upload your agent photo. If you have a team logo or a secondary logo that you want to upload, you can upload that logo. You have all of your contact information, your first name, your last name. You have a title. So if you wanted to come in here and put that you're a team leader, you have the ability to do that. If you're a broker associate, you have the ability to do that. Any designations or certifications that you have would actually be fed into RPR direct from your local association record. So you would go to your local board and make sure your board profile has any designations or certifications. That's the ABR, the CRS, the GRI, all of that information. It gets imported right into RPR, and then you can include those designations in your page as well. You have your office name, you have your brokerage name, you have multiple phone numbers, a work, a home, an office, a mobile. I can come in here, this is my mobile, but maybe I work with an assistant and my assistant helps with scheduling. So I want to come in here and I want to put my assistant's phone number in there. I can add that phone number. I can update any existing phone numbers, right? I have my email address. Now this is our brokerage that we have for you guys, which is Allison James. This is the primary address. And I'm going to make this up, but let's say there is, and you could very well have an office. I'm in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. So I can come in here and say, I'm with Allison James, and my office is actually in Tampa Bay. So I can come in and add that information in, add the email, add the website, add the phone number. If I participate with multiple MLSs, if you are maybe a bi-coastal agent, or you practice in multiple states, or you have a lot of market disorder overlap and you have to participate with 2 or 3 local MLSs, you want to make sure you're unlocking all of those MLSs. You may be an agent that's licensed in multiple states, and you want to come in and add all of your license numbers for all of the states that you're licensed in. Maybe you're licensed in California and you're licensed in Arizona. So you want to come in and add those license numbers. You can add that information, and then that information will be available to you on your reports page. So I'm just going to kind of plug in that info. We're going to go back, and it brings us right back into our report. So now we can click on that property flyer, and you'll see we can include our name, our title, our photo. If we want to include those license numbers, I'm going to uncheck this box for my work phone, and I'm going to uncheck the formal brokerage name, and I'm just going to have my office name and my office address. So we can see how that's going to appear on our profile info. Back to our property flyer, we're going to come in here and just click into more details. We're going to pick those images that we want to use. We can add our headline. So if this property happens to be a new listing, maybe you guys do coming soon flyers. Maybe this is a Facebook open house, whatever it may be. You can add that headline into RPR. It's going to pull in the public marketing remarks for the property. If it's coming soon, you can copy and paste public marketing remarks in there. Your list price can be the estimated value. It could be the list price. If you're doing a just sold flyer, it could be the sales price. It could be a comp analysis if you're doing some marketing reports. You can suppress information like year bill, tax amount, subdivision, and then I'm just going to go ahead and select run report. And it's going to go ahead and generate that property flyer. While that property flyer is generating, I'm just going to go in and open one that I created earlier to save us on time. So we can see it's for sale. We can see the property address. I used an example that we're doing a Facebook open house. We have our map image. We have our property photo. We have our description. And then we have our contact information to the bottom of the report. So that is our property flyer. Real quick, real simple. That's my report being completed. If you heard that doorbell, the doorbell is the noise that notifies you when reports are done. I'm going to show you just in a minute where you can actually silence that. But this is what it would look like with our custom photo on here as well. So you do have the ability to add that. Now, one of the questions that come up quite often, can you add more images into the property flyer? And you cannot. At this time, the layout of the report cannot be changed. All you can really change is the price that it's offered at, the headline word, and that description, and any information that you want to suppress. But as far as the image, it is a single image report. So keep in mind, with RPR being a realtor tool and you having the ability to upload your own property images into RPR, you do have the ability to create a collage image fairly easily. So when you're utilizing RPR to use reports to enhance your virtual business, a really good website to use as a tool is a site called Canva. And let me know through that chat if you guys are using Canva at all in your business. But let me just show you. I'm going to go to Canva. It's canva.com. Let me go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to paste it right into the chat if you don't use it. Okay. It's just canva.com. You can create your own account. It is free to use. Okay. So you don't have to pay anything more. If you want to use some copyrighted images to upgrade some of your artwork, you do have the ability to do that. But on the whole, you can almost generate anything that you want. But when you're doing virtual business, you can come in here, and if you look, you can design anything. And they have all types of templates over here on the left-hand side. But you can create logos. You can come in here and create your own infographics if you're creating a marketing flyer for something. You can create a cover for your Facebook business page. It will allow you to create images for Facebook posts and Instagram and things like that if you're doing an Instagram post. But they also have just a generic way for you to create a collage, and you can just scroll through all of these different templates that you have available. So I can just come in here and click on this template and come in and just say, hey, this is presented by, and I can change this from boardroom to boardwalk and put, you know, it's presented by the Gleboff team. And I can come in here and say your dream home. And then, oops, let me spell that correctly. Then I can just come in here and say, all right, I want to upload a couple of property photos. And I can come right in here and then just drag my property image right into this template pretty much and say, oh, this is the backside of the property. So I can come right in here and then I can create my own collage pretty much. And once I'm done creating it, I have the ability to download it as a JPEG, a PDF, whatever it may be. It prepares your design. I have the ability to download it. I can save this right onto my desktop. And I'm doing this live in front of you guys. So I can really easily then just go right back into RPR. I can go back to my property detail. I can upload that collage that we just did. And now when I go to create my report, if I want to use that property flyer, I can just come in and say, hey, I want to use this updated image. And then I can run my port and I then have that custom image on my report cover page. And I can really then use this on any report that I generate from RPR. So Canva is a really great site. It's a free site. It's not affiliated with RPR in any way. It's just something that a lot of people in the industry use. It's free. Even if you wanted, sorry guys, if you want to mute that, you just click this doorbell up at the top. You'll see a bell at the top of your reports page. So you can click that and it mutes that. But I just want to show you this property flyer now. So you have that kind of custom image that goes into that flyer. So you can always spruce it up with the ability to upload your own image. And again, you can really create a flyer for any property. It does not have to be an active listing. It could be a coming soon. It's a great way to come in and create mailing labels. So another thing that you can do, even though we're not really, say, farming or door knocking anymore, but maybe you were doing an open house and you wanted to invite some of the neighbors to that open house. You could come in here and I could draw a shape and do a polygon, and I can grab all of the homes in this community. I'm just going to grab this little section right here off of Alicante Road. So we can come in, right? And I can save this then as a farm area. So then I can come in here, this is the farm for my Obsidian listing, right? And then once I have that saved as a custom area, I'm gonna go to my all properties search. I'm gonna go down to my custom area. So I'm gonna pull up all of the parcels in that custom area. So I get 186 properties. And I'm going to go right up to the top, and then I'm going to create mailing labels for the 100 and however many properties. And I'm going to put out a little postcard that I can very easily create on Canva that says new listing, just sold, open house. I can send it direct to the property address, or it can go to the tax billing address, either one. It can go to the owner name or current resident. I'm going to send it to all occupancy types, whether it's owner occupied or an absentee owner. I would think you have about 11 absentee owners. And then I can come down. I also have the ability to generate these mailing labels straight to a PDF. I like to do the CSV. The reason why I like to save labels in a CSV, your PDF is your portable document file. And once it's a PDF, you cannot convert it into anything else, right? If I have a CSV file and I export my CSV file, it just goes into like a spreadsheet that I can open up in Microsoft Excel, or I can open it up in Numbers. I can do a mail merge and merge it with my Avery labels. If I wanted to create mailing labels, I could send it off to a third-party postcard company and they can print it right on there. So it's just more workable for me to do that Excel or that CSV file. But you could really easily grab all of those properties that you're marketing and send out information to them as well through our mailing labels. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. I want to go back to our property that is for sale. And we'll just keep using this one over and over again. I want to go in, and this time, let's say we want to create a couple of reports that we want to maybe do to help market the property. If we're going to have some sort of open house, whether it's a virtual open house or a Facebook open house, Facebook open houses are a really great option to try to enhance your virtual business. You can actually go right into Facebook and create an event for your open house. That way you can invite people to it. It sets up reminders. They can share the difference, or they can share it with their friends. So we're going to come back to this property at 6747 Obsidian Place. And I want to come in now and I want to create a report for the property. Now I have a question out there. Can you explain the differences of the reports? And I'm going to get to that right now, because all of our reports are compilations of different subsets of information. And we pull all of that information from either the summary of the property, we have the history of the property, which is going to look at sales and financing activity, prior sales transactions, whether it's listing records or public records. It's going to have tax assessment information. It's going to have mortgage information. It's going to talk about how this property lines up to other homes in the area. So you're going to get some charts and stats based off of inventory, how this house compares to local comps in the market. You have the ability to refine the value for the subject property. So if it needs improvements, if improvements are done to the property, if it's really tough with the local market conditions, if the home just has a superior view, you can kind of come in and tweak that overall RVM value. You can create a comparison or a comp analysis. And your comp analysis can be for pricing a property when you're looking to list it, but it could also be a comp analysis for a contract to purchase, because you have multiple scenarios for that CMA. So you have multiple reports that CMA will be fed into. And then you also have your neighborhood demographics. This is all of that census information, right? The population, you're going to get property value growth, median sales price versus sales volume, list price versus list volume. But you're going to get that housing breakdown, list month over month change, year over year change, the percentage of rent versus own. You're going to get that people. And that people is going to be that population breakdown, growth, male to female ratio, education levels, household breakdown, how many households with children, how many without children, income brackets, occupational categories, unemployment, rain, sun, snow, commute time, walkability. All of that information is your neighborhood or your demographic information. And also on your summary page, if you scroll down a little bit, we partner with niche.com to give us local information on schools. So if you have a client that's interested in a local elementary, middle, or high school, you can come in and see the school information, the comparison and ratings, how it compares to other schools in the district, GPA levels, proficiency levels, graduation, AP enrollment, average ACT and SAT scores, and local reviews. So you're really just coming in and looking at a particular parcel. That parcel may be listed, so you have that layer of MLS information in there. And then you have all of this other data, and you're coming in saying, okay, I want to create a report using all of this data or some of this data. So we're going to kind of work from the ground up in here. So when we're looking at our reports page, we already covered the right-hand side of our reports page, which is all of your elements and your profile. One thing that we didn't talk about over here is the ability to manage your custom pages. And this allows you to not only use the information that RPR compiled for your reports, but you can include your own pages that you compiled for your reports. And let me throw some ideas out there, especially if you're doing virtual business with a lot of out-of-town buyers. Maybe you have a really nice sheet that talks about the utility, the power company, the cable companies, the internet providers, and all of that information. If the municipality doesn't handle waste, maybe you have companies that come and do the trash pickup. So you can compile all of that utility information and create a buyer's packet on how to get started with their home. If you do a lot of listings and you're doing virtual listing presentations, you can have a worksheet that talks about, you know, the importance of listing with Allison James and what Allison James does that sets them apart from all of the other brokerages in the market. Maybe you have a cool little flyer that talks about real estate during COVID-19, and you can talk about the impacts of COVID-19 on real estate, how it affects showings, open houses, if there's going to cause a delay for inspection, mortgage. Right now, you know, mortgage info is really low, but there could be a delay in getting title information. How are you going to communicate? How are you going to show the property? Are you going to take additional videos? All of that information, you can add this little flyer into RPR as well. Past client testimonials, agent bio, all of this stuff. And don't forget, all of this is a member benefit and you can do it for free. You can organize these by dragging and dropping them in any order that you want. You can put them at the beginning or at the end of any report that you create. And if you do a lot of marketing and you have seasonal changes, I'm not in California, I'm actually over on the East Coast in Florida. So we really have two seasons. We have the hot season and the, you know, chilly season. I don't know if it gets really cold, but our winters, just everything dies and the grass is dead, nothing blooms, and it's just blah. So we kind of have our winter curb appeal, and then we have our summer curb appeal. And during those hot months, it's really important to keep up with the landscaping because weeds grow, grass grows really quick. Things can get burnt during the summer. So things like that. If it's seasonal info, you can always just delete it and change it as it goes around. You know, one of the things, maybe if you're listing properties around holidays, you know, maybe you want to have that flyer that talks about minimalizing holiday decorations when you're taking property photos and you're going to list a property. So little things like that are great for your custom pages. Now, we talked about the property flyer. So the next report I want to talk about real quick is the mini property report. And the reason why I like to talk about the mini property report first is because it's kind of like that go-to. This is really good to direct message potential buyers if they're interested in a property. If you have a new listing and you want to post a really quick little report onto Facebook, this is a great little report that you can use. At most, it's about 11 pages long, and you can come in and customize this. All of our reports give you this slideshow so you can kind of look at it and see what you like about it, what you don't like about it. If there's any pages that you want to take out, if there's any home facts that you want to take out, you have the ability to do that. So we can come in, and I'm just going to have my COVID-19 flyer at the beginning. I'm going to have my client testimonials at the end. And then I have my subject property summary. All of our reports, when you're going through them, they have this little blue icon, and that little blue icon pops up what a sample of that page looks like. And it tells you then this is the subject property summary. It includes really all of the pricing facts. So if the property's listed or was listed recently, it's going to have that list price on there. It's going to have that RVM value. If you refine the value, it's going to have that refined value. And if you ran a comp analysis for the property, it's going to have that comp analysis. But if we're just coming in and we want to market this real quick, we can say, well, I want the property value on there. I want the list price, but I don't want the RVM change or the comp analysis. I want the home facts for the property, the beds, the baths, the square footage, the lot size, but I don't want to have my homeowner name on this report. I'm going to suppress that. And then you have the extended home facts, right? Interior, exterior details. You have those property photos. You have that property history. So this is going to look at assessed value. Maybe I remove the mortgage information, right? We get market health, neighborhood stability, any notes and memos, so I can real quick remove that. I can limit the amount of photos I want to include, right? I can suppress RVM information if it doesn't apply, and then I can just run that report, and it's going to go ahead and generate that report. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute, but I'm going to close out of it. Now, all of our reports, of course, you can email, but I want to share with you some ways that you can work with distributing these reports virtually. So let's say we have our flyer and we have our mini property report. Now, here is a mini property report that I pre-generated before this class just to save on time. But this is what your report would look like with your custom pages. All of our reports follow this type of format. So it's always going to have the same layout. It's always going to have the same font, really clear mapping and photos. Everything is kind of spaced out to make it pleasing on the eyes for your potential client. It's all legible, it's crisp, it's clean. So all of that information's on the report. And then what we can do is take this report and I have a little orange circle just to the right of the report. I can click on this report. I can download it onto my desktop. I can rerun it if I wanted update information, and I can share this report on Facebook. Now, Facebook, as I just noticed when I logged into it earlier, is actually going through an update. So this is, I am doing this live. So this is how it's pulling up, but it may look a little bit different soon. So I can come in and I can share this to my story. I can share this on a friend's timeline. So if you're working with a seller, you can always reach out to that seller and say, hey, can I do a mini property report and post it onto your timeline on Facebook? You can share it in a group. You can share it to an event. So if you're going to do that virtual or that Facebook open house, you can create that event for the property, and then you can share the property flyer. You can share the mini property report. You can share the school report that you generate. You can share on a page that you manage. So if you want to send it onto your, onto your Facebook page, you can share it onto your Facebook page as well. I'm just going to put that this is a demo for a class, but you get that RPR report, and then you just come in and you post it onto Facebook, and it's done. So I just posted that mini property report onto my Facebook page. Now, some of the reports that you have to the bottom, and I want to talk about these 3 reports right here. You have your school report, and your school report is going to allow you to look at the elementary school, the middle school, or the high school that the property is zoned for. Unfortunately, at this time, you have to generate them one at a time. But again, you have those custom pages. It's going to be the summary of school information, reviews, nearby schools based off of location, whether they're public, private, charter schools. You can use filter level. You can select your distance out. This is just a great one to have on hand. If you send them that mini property report, maybe they direct message you and say, hey, do you know anything about the schools? You can then respond with this school report. I want to go back to the property details, and I want to go into our bigger map again. And from this property, remember, we do have that custom area that we mapped out earlier. So we can come in and say, hey, I want to find that custom area here. And then we can search in that area for active properties. We can also look for pended properties. But then you can come in and go to your create a report, and you can create a market area activity report. And that market area activity report is very much like a hot sheet report in your MLS. Let me know if you don't have hot sheets in your MLS. I think every MLS has one. But this is where you're coming in saying, hey, I want to get some market snapshots. So you'll get heat maps on the estimate of home values. You'll get the 12-month change in estimated value. You can get the concentration of distressed properties. You can do a sales price. You can do a list price. And then once you generate that market area activity report, you can use this through your social media channels as well. The market area activity report is a great way to keep your buyers informed with local properties that go on the market. It's also a great way to keep your sellers informed as a competition report. Because you get that, pendings, changes, recently sold. But it's also a great one to share onto like next door in your neighborhood. It's a great one to share on your neighborhood Facebook group if you have one as well. So lots of reasons that you can use this market area activity report. So that's available for you in your reports for your social media as well. A great one, and what I could share with you guys here, anytime you want to create a market area activity report, or anytime you want to create a neighborhood report, I want to share with you a little secret on generating these reports. And I'm going to just make a note of the zip code really quick. But you can, anytime you're in RPR, click on this magnifying glass, and it's going to bring your search page right up front, right? Right here, front and center. And you can come in and click on the neighborhood tab, and I can type in the zip code that this property's in, right? 92009. And then this is really important. We have this type drop down, and I'm going to change this type drop down to within. And when I click on that magnifying glass, it's going to load that zip code, and then it's going to load all of the subdivisions in that zip code. So I can see all of the neighborhoods, all of the complexes, all right here. I can see the median estimated home values, property value growth year over year, how many homes are in the neighborhood. So it's really nice to kind of come in and see what's local to you. And if you wanted to market one of these communities, and I'm just going to click on C Point. It's 335 properties. But this is, again, giving me all of that neighborhood information. So if I wanted to create a, neighborhood report and share it with all the homeowners in Sea Point, either through a direct mail campaign or a social media campaign, I can come in and create this neighborhood report. And all I have to do then is change that radio button, and I can create the market area activity report kind of side by side. So anytime you create a neighborhood or a market area activity report, they just go hand in hand, and they are really good reports to have anytime you're doing a virtual open house. They're great reports to have. The market area activity reports, so good with buyers to keep them up to date with what's going on in areas. But you do get that really pretty report with all of those heat maps and everything included. And then again, that neighborhood report is just giving you that demographics, all of that good, juicy census information. Now, before I wrap things up, I want to go back to our homepage, and I want to pull from this list and see if I have an off-market property hanging around anywhere. Let's take a look at this one. This property, 4722 Chase, this is an expired listing. It expired back in March of 2020. So let's say we go on a listing presentation for this property. It's beautiful. And you come in here and you do a comp analysis for the property, and you confirm all of those home facts, and you go out and you find comps, if there's even comps for $1 million properties out here. Well, let's grab a couple comps. I'm just going to grab some from our little list here. I'm going to pick some of these recent sales. We're going to update our valuation and close. If you want to go through those comparable properties and make adjustments, you can go through those and make adjustments. Maybe this one's a little bit worse. It's going to adjust that value. This is not a pricing webinar, so I'm going through this stuff really quick. We're going to come in and we're going to create our seller's report. Our seller's report is that listing presentation type report. When you go into more details, you're going to see it has the subject property summary. It's going to have the home facts of the property. It's going to have a layer of historical photos if it applies. It has assessed value. It has sales and financing activity. It has market activity. It has your comps. It has local inventory in the area. So this is that listing presentation type report that you can provide your client. When you're creating a CMA, we actually have two. So we also have a sales comparison analysis, and the sales comparison analysis yields a valuation workbook. And the valuation workbook is very similar to the seller's report, with the exception of this section here, which is the local market condition summary. So this is going to supply you with inventory, supply, absorption, and it's broken down over time span. Okay. So those are your two seller type reports. We also have the property report, and the property report, instead of having the market activity, has neighborhood demographics, but you will see it does pull in that comp analysis result as well. But what I want to do is go back to our PowerPoint presentation, and with the PowerPoint presentation, I just want to go over some additional tools that we have through RPR Mobile. So let's get back into our presentation mode. And with RPR Mobile, you do have access to market conditions, reports, one-touch call. It syncs automatically with your desktop. Through the mobile device, when you share reports, you can share reports through Instagram, by text messaging, through Facebook Messenger, any way that you could normally share on a mobile device, you have the ability to do that. So take time to download the mobile app. Our mobile app syncs automatically with your desktop. So any report that you create from your desktop, you can share through your mobile device and vice versa. But if you're doing virtual real estate, be aware of the multiple platforms that are available for use. You use Zoom. You're probably really familiar with Zoom. That's what your brokerage uses as well. It's free. You can do 40-minute virtual meetings face-to-face with or camera-to-camera with your clients. WebEx is a popular one where you can create a free personal account. Microsoft Teams is another one. GoToMeeting, and Skype is a good one to use for that virtual meeting platform. I do like Skype a little bit over FaceTime, just because it works for Apple and Android-based devices, where FaceTime is only Apple to Apple devices. So it's really good to have Skype on your mobile device for that face-to-face. We have NAR resources as well. So if you want transaction guidance on coronavirus, information on virtual tours and showings, tips, techniques, and things like that, check out nar.realtor/coronavirus for more information. But just go in there, go for it, generate a report, email it, or text message it to someone. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're available by phone, and we have support links on the bottom of every page. And that's going to wrap things up for me. Sorry, guys, I went over a little bit, but I get really excited when I start talking about the RPR reports and all that wonderful information that you like to eat up. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I know Tori was recording this, and she was going to send it out to everyone. She's probably going to come on and tell you that in just a second. But before she jumps on, if you guys have any direct questions for me, I'd be happy to take them at this time.
Perfect. While we're waiting for questions to come in, I just want to mention, I did get a couple just general RPR questions. So I just wanted to mention to Allison James agents, we do have RPR does webinars on I don't know daily, but definitely weekly about different tools that RPR offers. And I want to let you know that if you go to Allison James University on our events calendar, we actually post all of those webinars that RPR does. So if you are looking to continue to expand your knowledge and want to get like the full use of RPR, just go to our events calendar and just pick, and you can sign up for the webinars. But Katie, you can show them too. I don't know if you can, but where they can find your weekly webinars as well through RPR.
Yeah, if you guys are ever in RPR, you can just scroll to the bottom of any screen, and we have a link at the very bottom to our blog. And you can just click that link and go right into learning. And we have live webinars, we have watch on demand presentations, we have short video tutorials, ebooks, as well as quick start guides. So you can pick which ones will work for you.
Perfect. And yeah, if you're trying to use RPR, those webinars are great. I've actually watched a few myself. So I highly recommend joining those if you can, or just joining their watch on demand sessions as well.
Okay. And I do have a question out there from Virginia. Do we have a cheat sheet on the reports? We don't. The best thing to do is come in and either click into the show sample of the particular report that you're looking at and flip through the pages, or just go into the more details. I can pretty much tell you the property report is our #1 report. It is a more like a buyer type report to me, but you can use it for buyers and sellers. It contains CMA information, property information, and neighborhood demographics, as well as school information. The seller's report, that CMA information, property information, history information, and market activity. The mini property report, that one really is just property information and a little bit on the market health. So usually one of these 4 reports are what you're looking to generate for your client, unless they're looking for something specific about a school, inventory about a neighborhood, or demographics about a neighborhood. Then you would use the ones here to the bottom. So I hope that helps.
Perfect. Thank you. I think we pretty much answered all the questions. I don't see any more coming up. All right, perfect. So if you guys do have any more questions, Katie did show you where you can reach out to the support, and like I said, watch their webinars or videos. But so I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone for joining us. Like Katie had mentioned, we are going to send out the recorded version so you guys can have this on hand. You guys can rewatch this at any time. We will send that out to you. And of course, a huge thank you to Katie for hosting this month's webinar and giving us a great presentation about RPR. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you all.
Thanks, Katie.